Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk with ZTS, where we, as brothers, search for ways to share our voices while having a good time just talking, having those real talk conversations, our shared experiences, and reacting to random topics and articles. As we always say, we all have something to share, and we look forward to sharing and building that community of stories that we can all relate to. Now enjoy the episode.
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
You feeling better?
Yeah, much better today.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, between the migraines of allergies and the stress from the last 2 days,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it was still kind of a stressful, like, what the hell kind of day.
Right.
But it didn't affect my head like it did the last couple nights, and working late probably didn't help either. So,
Yeah. Hey, man. What a start of the week for you.
yeah, man, it's been
But it
been a rough one. It's only,
yeah. Well, it's just us on tonight. We'll make it a quick and easy one. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure in California you still got nice, beautiful weather. We got good sunshine today. So trying to get us out early.
yeah,
Like the
go enjoy it.
stereotypical CEOs say, I'll give you back 2 minutes of your time.
I know, right?
But yeah, no. Yeah, but I was just watching the game, and so Boston Cavs playing. Usually I don't really watch like the first half of any basketball game because it's just like, the fun starts in the second half, or at least in the fourth quarter, especially if it's a close game. But while it was halftime, but I was waiting for you, so I was just putting it on. And so while it was halftime, switched to the news, which I rarely watch. And so there was a couple cool news, and one of them was talking about the weather and, typical Washington fashion tomorrow and the rest of the week's going to start getting cloudy and rainy again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think we're getting a little bit of a cold front over here as well. I think I saw that, if I saw it correctly. No, it's next week. And when I say cold front, we're dropping from the 70s into this high 60s.
But it's still like clear skies, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I think it's a little cloudy next Wednesday, but that's about it. So
yeah.
I know this past weekend, like, because I didn't really have to like work. I actually had 2 days off. So that was kind of nice, even though I was on call. You know how it is when you're on call, you're like, I don't know if I should go too far away, but
I mean, I don't know how it is. I've never been on call.
That's fair. But yeah, no, I mean, I actually had a couple days off for once, and that was kind of nice. And
nice.
And we got a heat.
You?
Yeah, we got
with the past couple of days.
Oh yeah. You're like, wow, I finally got 2 days off, and then we just, hey man, when they say shit hits the fan, it always hits the fan.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours. All the things that could be said could be, that's how the last 2 days have been. So that's been oh so glorious.
Hey man, but there's a saying for everything, right? Like they say, when it rains and pours, like you said, but then there's another saying that happens after that. You fall the hardest, but well, okay, I'm butchering the saying, but basically, you fall so far, you can only go up from here.
That's fair.
Yeah, so can only go up, man.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into a couple of articles, kind of saved for you guys, but obviously, it's just us tonight. Actually, this is one that I just heard now. Speaking of me just watching the news recently for the first time, the house that inspired Up in Seattle. When was the last time you ever heard anything about it, right? And so on the news today, apparently the original owner, the old lady who owned the house and lived there, and her family lived there.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one who, rejected the $1 million offer from developers, um, to sell her property, her little square lot with a little house on there. For those who haven't seen it or don't know what we're talking about, the Disney movie Up, if you guys remember, it's the one little house that's surrounded by like new development buildings, right? Commercial buildings. This is a real life thing that's in Seattle. And imagine like all these parking lots, shopping malls, Ross, everything just surrounding this little parcel with this little house on it. Um, and anyways, uh, for those who live in or near Seattle, we kind of know about it, but it was the first time that I've I turned on the news and heard anything about it. Apparently, the that owner, she passed away in like 2008. So
Mm-hmm.
literally, this house has been sitting vacant for that long until recently. The caretaker who took care of the old lady. I don't know the whole details, but maybe like her dying wish was like, I don't know, keep the house how it is for like, I don't know, 10 years or something, and once that passed, she's like, you can do whatever you want with it. Um, but he doesn't have any plans to do anything with it. But as of this year, for the first time in decades, the house is up for lease. And
Oh,
so I mean, it's run down right now. So I think the caretaker is like looking to like, remodel it a little bit so that it can be leased. But also he's saying that it's possible that in the next couple years or next 5 years, he's going to give it to basically the community, not the city, but like the community of Ballard, and so that the community can vote on what they want to do with this parcel or this house.
yeah.
And so apparently in a couple hours there's going to be another news segment that interviews a couple of the people from the community and like their ideas of what they want to do with it. So maybe I'll check that out later and update probably next episode or so. But yeah, man, I don't know if you looked that up recently, but
No,
when
I
was the last
haven't.
time you heard about the Up House in
I know
Seattle?
it's been a while. I know I haven't
Yeah.
really heard about it. So
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, I hope they keep it. I mean, how like how poetic does that look? For those who don't even know what we're talking about, look it up. It's it's very poetic, right? Where you have these big block gray commercial buildings, taking up city blocks, and you have this one patch of grass, one small square parcel with this dilapidated house, like right in between all this stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Um, I would like them to keep it and maybe, I don't know, foster like a grant or like a fundraiser to help pay the property taxes or something, just to keep it alive. But who
yeah,
knows?
that would be cool.
Yeah.
No, I've seen. I mean, there's been a lot of those pictures too. Is like because I've seen, even the ones down in I can't remember. One might have been in California where it's just like, well, it would make sense to be in California, but there's like this like it looks kind of like a mansion
Yeah.
with like a farm around it, but then
Oh,
like
geez.
it's literally just a square, and then
Yeah.
outside the square is literally just residential commercial housing, like just
Yeah.
cookie cutter, like bang bang bang, like rows of houses and stuff. But it's like in the
Yeah.
middle is just one like little square that's like a farm and like has like a nice like farmhouse mansion type of feel to it, and it's like they didn't sell, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at some pictures of it. It's literally smack dab in between. Like imagine a three-sided concrete wall because there's no backyard to this house. It's literally a small square parcel. There's barely any yard. If anything, there's probably 5 yards, 5 feet of yard all the way around. So obviously the front is not blocked off because that's where the entrance is on the sidewalk. But then the sides and the rear is all concrete wall because of the big commercial building that's surrounding it. literally an LA Fitness right next door and a Ross on the other side. Crazy. But yeah, it's like totally run down now. I wonder how much it costs.
I know, right? I'm kind of. It always makes me curious. Like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Let's see, because I'm looking at it. It's up for sale. Let's see. Let's see. Give me a second. The price of Up House, Seattle. She was offered $1 million back in 2007, which is a ripoff. Uh, tu- tu- tu. Yeah, I gotta look up the address, or maybe it's like being sold privately,
Mm,
so it's not like on the record. But anyways, we'll see what comes up with that in the next couple months or years.
right here, I just
Yeah.
found the thing that I was talking about. I guess it's in Sydney.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right next door to California.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, no, there was one in California too, but like this one's in Australia. But
40 million. Oh, taking a 40 million stand.
yeah, it's just kind of crazy because it's just like, oh, geez, like they
Wait,
just
so
never sold their land, and everything around it developed.
why are they holding out? Oh, geez,
Principal,
dude, I just seen this. This is crazy.
right?
Okay, I did not imagine that, dude. This is crazy. Look at that driveway.
Yeah,
Dude, that's like at least, let me see. If we're talking city blocks, dude, that driveway is at least, I would say, a little over half a mile.
yeah. I mean, it's 200 meters. So
Dude, if I own this land, I don't know if I would sell it either, but
yeah,
I would convert some of that grass area they have into like playing fields, whether it's like football or soccer, and I would allow like you know how like local companies sponsor like rec teams and stuff.
yeah.
I would host like allow people to do that. After seeing this, I'm not gonna lie, 40 mil is kind of a ripoff. I either they're holding off for more,
Yeah,
which is difficult by the way, because what developer wants to pay more than that? But yeah, I mean, dude, it's so well kept.
it is too. It's like, oh man, that looks so nice.
To own that much land, though, to be honest, man, I would keep it in the family and
Yeah,
just like turn it into a compound or something, like your own
honestly.
little. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure they can build a lot of things on there depending on the zone, though.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I'm
Dude,
sure you could build. I
okay,
mean,
I've never seen this, but this is
your
so
whole
cool.
family could live in there.
Yeah,
Just a block of your family and friends.
right. That's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen that. Um, all right. Anyways, moving on. This is a cool stat that I found recently. Um, let's see, how should I word this? Um, we've been hearing it in the media. You like, there's like social media apps, right? Are they even profitable? Whatever, right? What do you think is one of the most profitable social media apps or social media platforms right now? I'll give you one guess and then I'm gonna reveal the answer. This one surprised me.
Like the most profitable in terms
Yeah.
of like,
No, no. Um, Obviously, let's just to make it easy or maybe harder.
yeah.
Um, like profitable in terms of like revenue brought in. So like how much revenue they're pulling in yearly. So let's exclude Meta, right?
Oh,
Facebook Meta,
excluding
because
Meta.
yeah, let's exclude
Well, I
Facebook
guess because
Meta.
Meta owns
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, and those are the
Right.
two.
Right. They're one of the most profitable. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think as of like the past couple years, even this past quarter of this year, is one of the most profitable in terms of revenue, social media platforms?
Um,
I'll be surprised if you get this one.
I'm gonna say a couple things, right? I
Yeah.
think if you're thinking like full, like, well, I guess it depends. Like if you're thinking like social media in certain terms, you
Uh-huh.
typically think of like your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Uh-huh.
With those excluded, though, I guess you could say I feel like TikTok's trending out because of all the things that are happening. Snapchat's kind of right there with it. Snapchat's been around for a long time.
Mhm.
I would say YouTube has been pretty profitable in terms of video, if you consider social media. And then the one that's kind of like that I will say that's out of left field, honestly, if you consider it social media, I guess it is social media, but LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is like, it's like it's a
Mhm.
professional net. I guess
Right.
it's, yeah, I guess it is social media, but it's professional networking. But I think so many things have been going to LinkedIn
Mhm.
recently with just how many businesses are pooling money into advertising and job postings and all of that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if that was honestly towards the top
Yeah.
um,
So what's
in
your guess?
terms of in
Go
terms
ahead.
of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I just think again, I kind of gave you
One guess.
categories, but
Yeah.
um, I mean, I'd imagine YouTube's up there is
All
probably
right.
one of the most
All
revenue
right. Let
generating
me
ones.
let me reveal it. First of all, I'm gonna give it to you because you are a fucking mastermind as I've always known you, in terms of sorting this out. The winner is LinkedIn.
Is it
Dude,
LinkedIn? Oh, okay. Okay.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
of like this past quarter of 2024, they brought in over $119 million in app revenue,
Yeah.
which is more than Twitter and Snapchat combined. Um, I mean, we all know Twitter slash X, us old heads still call it Twitter,
Oh,
has been
yeah,
in the
for sure.
dumps lately. So we know,
Yeah, we knew that one wasn't going to be up
yeah.
there.
But Snapchat, dude, Snapchat,
Yeah.
I mean, Snapchat's been kind of steady, but I'm guessing like they're
Yeah.
still profiting, but like not profiting a lot. But yeah, LinkedIn, dude, kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah,
Has
man.
been,
It's kind of
yeah,
crazy. Like, for us, we think of it as a networking tool,
yeah, yeah,
essentially, because I mean, that's how you kind of showcase yourself and network in a professional manner. I say
right.
professional manner in quotations because obviously it's come more social in that aspect. I think us old heads, and I say old heads, and we're not really that old, but even like the folks that are older than us, like they go to LinkedIn for professional type of things. But
Right.
yeah, I know. I mean, at some point the shift happened to LinkedIn to where it's like, it became essentially the new like, I don't know, like Glassdoor,
Mhm.
job search
Mhm.
sites, that kind of stuff.
and
Um,
and like the latest revival of LinkedIn. I'm not gonna lie because I don't use LinkedIn anymore.
yeah,
Outside of one coworker out of nowhere a couple months ago hit me up, was like, "Hey man, you haven't updated your LinkedIn in like 15 years."
yeah,
Because apparently there's a new he's trying to kind of like I guess you can do promotions now, or like
yeah,
you could request for what's that called, like uh testimonies from
yeah,
like
yeah,
your peers.
yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
he was he's
testimonials or whatever.
yeah, and so he's trying to do like a side teaching gig,
Yeah,
which he is great, by the way. He taught me a lot of things. Um and so he was trying to like reach out to me and other people. I was like, "Hey, can you, do you mind giving me a testimonial on my LinkedIn?" And
yeah,
then but before that, he was just like, "Hey man, you haven't updated your LinkedIn in like 15 years." But outside of that, the only LinkedIn thing that I'm aware of in the past year alone, or a couple years alone, was like, those unhinged like memes or like posts that people share about like here's a story of this unhinged CEO who's out of touch with reality and how he feels about the job market, or some funny
yeah,
unhinged story from LinkedIn. Is the only thing I see that's relevant to LinkedIn. But And now reading this article, I'm like, well, I guess they're still just fine.
Yeah, no, I mean I mean that's honestly that's how a lot of people search now. You know, like because um a lot of people, in I mean myself included, uh when you're searching for new jobs these days, like you want to showcase what you've done. And there's a lot of times where, like, obviously, there's you go back and forth between the whole how long should my resume be kind of thing. And really you're only trying to keep it to obviously the relevant points in your cover letter and your resume.
Yeah.
Some people believe it's the best to put every experience they've ever had in a resume, making their resume 30 pages long. No one wants to read through that. Just word of advice for people. Because I mean, I saw a resume the other day for like a position that was posted, over here, and someone had applied for it, and then they obviously attached their resume, and the folks that listen to this, they'll know who I'm referring to, but there is someone that we know that kind of does this, but it's like the person that this resume was, or it was theirs, obviously, but reviewing it, it was like literally like their job, and then 20 volunteer positions, or like different titles, like I'm the board member of this committee, board member of this committee, I'm the chair of this committee, and I'm the chair of this, and then I do this. So I mean, we all know one, at least someone in our life that is like that, but this guy's resume was like 20 voluntary like type of positions, and like different titles, and like, you sign off on your email and you have like, not, maybe you're an MD, but then you're also like chair of this, chair of that, chair of this, president
Now, I
of
would
this.
say
And it's
though,
like,
I would
bro,
say though, it's not bad if it was specifically curated and meaningful to the job that they're applying for.
right, but that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying, like you
yeah, not
want to
just a
keep it
status brag.
relevant to the
Yeah,
job. But
yeah,
I have, and I will say this, like I don't know anyone who should be putting 20 relevant voluntary type of gigs
true.
on a
You could
resume
summarize
for
that probably in
a job.
yeah,
I'm very involved in the community in the following organizations. You don't have to
yeah,
list every,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
I
Like
agree with you.
title, what you're responsible for
Yeah,
doing. It's voluntary. I don't get paid for it. And I'm like, hey,
yeah,
by all means, you got a lot of time apparently, and you like to give back. That's fine.
yeah,
I'm not digging, but the 10-page resume, because you just have everything laid out like that, and it's like, wow, this is intense.
yeah,
No, I
yeah.
mean, but you know,
Yeah,
to the point, I was just saying, like, you usually, general rule of thumb is like 1 to 2 pages on your resume, maybe three. And then a lot of people nowadays is like, um, myself included, obviously, because I have a new job here, but you put your professional email at the top, and then you put your LinkedIn profile. Because then at that point you can kind of put everything that you want to showcase on your LinkedIn. And to your point, recommendations is what it's called. Testimonials, recommendations, same difference. But you can put like things on there, and you can ask someone for a recommendation of like,
yeah,
hey, I worked with this person then, and da 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 da. So it's all written out and kind of already there. And that may not be the person that you have as like your
yeah,
reference on your resume, but people can kind of see that. So it's kind of, I can see why LinkedIn has definitely popped up as like one of the most revenue generating, because a lot
yeah,
of people are using it for job searches, doing all that stuff. Big companies are pooling in money, and like just because for advertising of their new role and all of that
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
everyone's on it. So it's like, oh, yeah,
Um,
I guarantee it's probably mostly all promotional
yeah,
monies going into that.
yeah. That's crazy. I'm surprised you got to that. Well, I mean, for me, I wouldn't have ever got to that if I didn't read the article, just because, you know, my LinkedIn hasn't been touched in like years.
Yeah,
And
man. No, I
so,
mean, hey, it's important to kind of update that though. too, just so
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
have it. Because that's the other thing, because then you can pay for LinkedIn Premium.
That's crazy. Yeah, I
Because yeah,
heard that
because if
people
you
actually
because
pay.
yeah, because if you use it a lot, you can pay for the premium, and then that gives you, the option or the ability to see who's been looking at your profile also.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of like when you're doing job search, you can change your profile picture to like looking for work or open for work, open to
Oh,
work kind of thing. So you can kind of like sell yourself at the same time. And when you put those things on, then recruiters on there
yeah.
will look, and then you kind of get a report at the end of the week saying like, here's the people that looked at your profile this week. And usually it's just like companies that were like, here are like the positions in the companies of the people that or of the people that looked at your profile this week.
Right.
But if you have premium, you can actually see who looked at your profile in terms of recruiters and all of that. And then you're like, oh,
Yeah.
and you're like, why were you looking at my page again?
Right.
Interesting. Um,
That's actually pretty crazy.
yeah, yeah. But and then some people, like a lot of recruiters will reach out. I mean, I know Allie's got a lot of recruiters that have reached out to her
Yeah.
just in the past year that we've been here, almost a year that we've been here. Like they've reached out, just like different Bay Area positions that are looking for HR folks, and it's like, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's fascinating to me. In I guess well, I mean, like I update my resume uh very often, just to update it based on the work that I've done and everything that I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's interesting to see that like uh that LinkedIn is kind of like I mean, I'm not trying to use cliche words. It is a social media platform, but like what I mean is like LinkedIn is like how like Instagram or TikTok you showcase your accomplishments in whatever field you're in
Mm-hmm.
socially, right? Or like for fun. Um but LinkedIn is like a more refined version of like share your expertise.
Yeah.
So
and
that's crazy.
and LinkedIn is, I mean, because it's the professional thing too, like they offer courses on there to get like certificate programs and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you can become certified in this, managing whatever,
Yeah.
or whatever. And you can run all those courses on LinkedIn, like the LinkedIn learning platform on there. Is actually kind of cool. Like at UW, before I left, that was one of the benefits to staff. I love how they rolled that out as I was leaving. Like
Yeah. Of course.
f you all, but it's like one of those things. Like staff had the benefit of taking courses on there under a certain like monetary amount,
Yeah.
and you can and get certificates, and you can attach them to your profile, saying that you completed this 8-hour training on your own time or whatever it is. You're a professional in this field. Here's like a small certificate of a course I took on LinkedIn. And a lot of people look at that and they're like, oh, they've invested time. And like they have things that you can, I mean, obviously it's to sell yourself, right?
Mhm.
So like there's free things in there where you can take quizzes to like prove your proficiency in something. So when I went in there and I was job searching and doing all that stuff, I went in and I'm like, what's good for an operations manager or that type of person
Yeah.
looking for a new role. Like a lot of the time you're working with budgets and spreadsheets. So I went in and I took like the quiz on like Excel proficiency. And
Yeah.
because I scored high in the quiz, then it puts like a little badge on my account saying like he passed the proficiency test of Excel. He is
Mm.
actually proficient in Excel, like he says,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he passed this quiz that like goes in all the details of whatever it is. Um, so yeah, so
Mm.
it's kind of cool because like you can really just like do all these things to actually help you build your profile to where it's like it actually kind of backs up what a lot of people put on a resume and sometimes lie about.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's be honest, that's half of the battle. If you can bullshit your way through an interview and you interview well, you know, sometimes you get into the job and then you're like, okay, I don't actually know how to do this.
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
some help. Um, but no, I mean, it's a good tool to kind of show that. And a lot of people, a lot of recruiters nowadays actually look at that stuff. So
yeah,
crazy. I know.
yeah, man. Um, yeah. I don't know if I'll update my LinkedIn anytime soon though.
Hey, you
I'm kind
never
of
know,
scared
man.
to open the app again.
Hey,
But
I
yeah, you're right.
mean,
You never know. I should
yeah,
probably
you
just
never
update it.
know.
Just
I was gonna
yeah,
say, you never know. Who knows? Someone could like reach out to you just as a
yeah,
recruiter. Um, I mean, I know a few people that like weren't even looking for jobs and
yeah,
they got reached out to and they were like, what do I do? I'm like, oh, just talk to them and just see
yeah,
what they want. And they're like,
yeah.
oh, they want to talk to me about this opportunity. And I was like, what's the worst that can happen? You can always
Yeah,
say no after you talk to
exactly.
them. But
Yeah,
networking is part of growing. I mean, growing your network, right? Growing
that is very true.
and spreading that out. And you know, the few people that I know that have actually talked to recruiters and successfully, right, had this conversation. They're like, hey, we want to have a conversation. Here's what we do. You know, oh, that's actually kind of cool. And then they're like, oh yeah, let's, you know, have you come out for a demo, whatever it is, you know. And then they
Yeah,
ended up hiring, you know, my friends, and they're just like, I wasn't even considering, you know, a future job in this field because it's like, you know, for instance, I don't know, you go into like orthodontic, like dental work, you know,
yeah,
but like a lot of the recruiters on LinkedIn, they're not gonna be like from your local orthodontist or dentist office being like, oh hey, you look great. No, it's the other people that are like in the like dentistry field that are
yeah,
like selling or using tools, like, oh, this is what we offer and we actually have these things at a lot of different offices. We want you to be, because we see that you're proficient in using these tools, you are a client of ours, we want you to come in and work for us, and then we will actually pay for you to travel to each site and make sure that these people know what they're doing and using our materials. And it's like, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's like, I never once thought that I would be doing that, and here I am now doing that, and I travel a lot and doing all that stuff. Not me, for those who are
yeah.
listening who might have been confused by the lines there, but um yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, you just never know when you're going to get reached out to and when that next opportunity might come. And, you know, it never hurts to talk to somebody, but, you know, who knows where it
No,
could
that's
go.
true. Exactly. Get out of our comfort zone, you know?
Yeah.
Well, moving
Anyways.
on. Yeah. LinkedIn. Um, get on it. You probably inspired me to get on too. I'll probably update it. You never know. Will reach out to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, yesterday, here's a final article for the night. Keep it short and sweet today. Um, Yesterday was the start of the Caitlin Clark era in WNBA.
Mhm.
Her regular season debut was yesterday. I don't know if you watched the game. I did. Um, uh, Overall disappointing, but still a good hype. You know, she still scored 20 points. She did have 10 turnovers and she did get roughed up a little bit. You know, it's kind of like welcome to the pros type deal, right? We see
Oh,
that in
for
every
sure.
aspect of the sports
Yeah.
of the sport. However, the Caitlin Clark effect is real, and I'm impressed, and I'm a fan, and I hope that she continues to just be better and better, and I hope she doesn't fall. She doesn't fall to the hype, you know, and just be herself that we've seen in college, and just be one of the greatest athletes of all time. Not just not just women, female athletes, just athletes of all time. And let me shell out a couple stats before I hear your thoughts. But for those who aren't aware, and you have a primitive sports brain like our buddy Dustin, let me reveal how great this is. You remember I used to hype up Messi, and Messi, wherever he went when he came to the MLS, tickets were skyrocketing, right? Everyone was trying to see Messi. Same thing here is happening with Caitlin Clark, but there's more. She's literally changing the financial landscape of the WNBA. All right, check this out. I didn't know this because I never paid attention, but uh courtside seats for her games for tickets where she's playing, whether it's home game or an away game, right? Hold on, let me let out the doggo. All right. All right. Check this out. I never paid attention to this, but you know how much courtside seats are to a regular NBA game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I never knew this, but typically a cost for a courtside seat at any regular NBA game is roughly 3K. Obviously higher depending on the team and the matchup, right? But typically on average 3K. For comparison, a typical non Caitlin Clark era or game, WNBA game, you can find courtside seats for about $500, right? Look at that disparity, right?
Right.
But the courtside seats that was selling for last night's game and around other games that she's going to play in this season are already hovering about $5,000 for courtside seats to watch Caitlin Clark play. That's crazy. Here's a couple more stats, dude. That's it's let me just spitfire this real quick. I did not know this because you know me, I don't watch the WNBA like that.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to pay attention now. I'm reading these articles. It makes sense, but I did not know this. But the WNBA, all their players, no matter how much star power you have, they're all flying economy. And because of Caitlin Clark, the WNBA just approved to allow all teams to charter their flights this season. On top of that, ticket sales for WNBA games have skyrocketed at almost 93% above average from last year's ticket sales. And then her team, which is one of the worst teams in the past couple years, I guess, Indiana Fever, 36 of their 40 regular season games this year will be aired on national TV compared to just one last year. Dude. And on top of that, lastly, WNBA is expecting that their broadcast deal with TV networks is going to increase like by thousands of percent, which would benefit not only the league by bringing more money into the league, but also for more money to come in the league. It basically guarantees that it's a salary increase for all her peers in the league. So she has a huge, I wouldn't say chip, boulder on her shoulder. But that's what I'm saying, though, dude. She's such a special athlete, person as well, that I'm hoping that she doesn't get crushed in the weight of all this expectation and just play her game and just become better and better. So far, honestly, I was watching the game. She played like herself, and she like back when she was in Iowa, she can be dominant, whether mid-season of this year or later on in the next future years. The only thing that beat her up this year is literally the welcome to the pro moment. And we see this in all sports for any type of rookie, right? Because, rookies coming in, they're not as fast, they're not as big. Even LeBron got his ass beat a couple times when he was a rookie, as pro ready as he was.
Yeah.
When you come into the pro leagues, you got these guys who literally their day to day is to get stronger and faster,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So honestly, she had 10 turnovers and she got beat up a couple times, but you could see that her potential, her ceiling, there is no ceiling. Like she can be so dominant in this game because all that she did in Iowa, to me, wasn't all like a fluke. You can see her pull those same moves in the pros. I mean, dude, again, yes, preseason in the WNBA, she was playing with half rookies, against half rookies, half stars, right? Or half veteran players.
Yeah.
But she was averaging over 30 points in the preseason. And now that she's playing against full starters and veteran players, yes, she still got beat up a little bit, but she scored 20 points that night.
Yeah.
Last night. So, anyways, man, sorry, Dustin and everyone else. Now you're going to hear me hyping up Messi and Caitlin Clark every episode. But except I won't say anything sexual about Caitlin Clark. I respect her too much. Messi, we can, you know,
Oh yeah,
Messi,
no,
yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Messi's a bro. But anyways, but yes, what's your thoughts, man? Caitlin Clark era, you excited?
Yeah, no, I think it's bringing a lot of I think it's bringing a lot of attention to a league that, should have more attention anyways.
Yeah,
Because I think that, you know, Caitlin Clark, put up crazy numbers, did crazy things, but I mean, you have to look back too, like Diana Taurasi. I mean, she's in what her 12th year in the league. I don't even know. I think that's an exaggeration,
yeah,
but I feel like that's actually pretty close. Um, she was doing that stuff like, when she was in college and doing all that, and like Brianna Stewart was doing it all in college. Um, and I'm just trying to think of like, you know, players from just like kind of us in the past few years, even. Brianna Stewart being one, Sabrina Ionescu was one. Um, and like they were all crazy players, and like now we're just seeing more and more talent come in the college game,
yeah,
to where we're getting to more televised games of them, right? Just at the college level. I mean, like this
yeah,
is one of the first year, I mean, first years that everyone was like more excited about the women's tournament than the men's tournament
yeah,
for
yeah,
March Madness. um so it was just kind of crazy to see that, like, that shift, right?
yeah,
um will it continue? I don't know, right?
yeah,
Because you still got Juju Watkins and Paige, Beckers and all of that in college. And Haley Van Lith is now with TCU, and all of those folks. So like you still have some stars in the college game,
yeah,
more so than you can speak to the men's side, right? Because
right,
like I can't really name that many men, like collegiate players at this point. Um, but we can sit off and ramble the names of all the women. It's like,
yeah,
oh yeah. So it is cool to see that shift. She did get beat up last night, which honestly was expected, right? Like part of you wanted to see like her just completely dominate, but these are the people that are like, you know like you said, bigger, stronger, faster. They've been putting in that work. Like they're not rookies, they're vets of the league. A lot of them 3 to 10 years of experience in the league. You
yeah,
look back at any person, Diana Taurasi or Brianna Stewart and all that, and like they, even though they are skinnier too, but like they bulked up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like you have those people, just like when you're gonna see like all the memes already came out like, oh, Caitlin Clark had a horrible first half. You'd never see like Angel Reese have that kind of thing. Angel Reese is still gonna have her struggles too. Like,
hmm,
she's a big down under, but like, there are also other bigs in the league that are just as big as her or bigger or stronger.
yeah,
I think, Asia Wilson with the aces and stuff, like she's gonna get pushed around a little bit. You know what I mean? Like she'll everyone will hold their own, but like it's definitely the welcome to the league moment for sure. And I think they will adjust. Um, but only time will tell. But it is an exciting time. She did still come out with a pretty decent game. I think it was awesome to see um her teammates pick her up, kind of give a veteran presence to a rookie year. Like, look, this is the first of many, right?
yeah,
This is game
yeah,
one of many games. Rookie seasons like aren't always like crazy, crazy. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
I mean, you're a rookie for a reason. Like you're
yeah,
coming into a league the league didn't start yesterday. It's been around for a while.
yeah,
20 plus years. 20 was it 25 years now? I don't even know. But yeah, there's a lot of history there, and I think it's cool because like now people can learn the history of the league and the game and all the women that have come before her in terms of like, oh shit, her stats are crazy, you know. But that's just one of those things. I think I think it was a good game, minus the 10 turnovers and all that. But again, learning curve, right? Like you can't just come in. These are the best of the best. You know, you're in college, you're playing with the best of the best that were, you know, the top athletes in high school coming to your college. Now you're literally in the professional league, right? These are the best of the best at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know, you just always got to keep stepping your game up. So,
yep.
It's just one more challenge, you know, and like a lot of people, I'm drawing a blank on her name, but like, you know, the 12th overall pick in the first round for the WNBA draft, she got cut this year.
Oh,
she didn't even make the squad, which is unfortunate.
And she was the 12th overall pick. Wasn't that? That's not the Storm's pick, was it?
No.
No, they were the 14th. Never mind.
Yeah. So the 12th overall pick ended up getting cut off the team because she didn't make the team. She didn't make the squad, which is crazy. But I mean, you think about it, like there's not that if they expanded more teams, which they did add the Golden State Valkyries yesterday.
I saw that. Yeah.
as a new team coming in. But like as you have more teams, it gives more opportunity for more players to be in the league. But it also, you know, creates a deeper bench. So like maybe you don't see a first round pick like not make a team, you know, at least that first year.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Anyways, I digress.
All right, man. Well, I'm excited to see or pay attention to her game. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it, but I do have it recording, so maybe I'll catch some highlights, but see her game on Saturday. But other than that, I'm gonna give you back a couple minutes of your time. It's just I'm gonna end it like that every episode. But no, that's all we got today. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up and say goodnight?
I think that's a good ending, and honestly, I hope my week gets better. Let's be real here.
100%, man. All our weeks get better. That's all we hope for.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you. Thanks for another great episode. As we're signing off, we like to end with our favorite saying, keep the dialogue going, because that's how we learn and grow. So keep talking with each other, keep thinking together, keep growing together, and we'll see y'all next time.